Coming up in today's video, I take down my 20-week-old mini braids that I've been using as a protective style to grow my natural hair for the last 20 weeks. So come on, let's go ahead and get into today's video. So I've been hinting for the past few weeks that I've taken down my mini braids on my natural hair that I've been using to grow it long, healthy and strong. Today's video is a compilation of the many days it took me to take down this style, as well as answering some Q&As that I've had about taking down mini braids. Welcome or welcome back to all my new and returning subscribers. I really appreciate each and every one of you stopping by my channel, checking out my content, commenting and liking. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much. So about a year ago, I started doing mini braids on my short to medium length hair, and as of May this year, actually there was a challenge before that, so the challenge started really in February, and I completed that challenge, and then I started a challenge on the 8th of May, and I've been doing it consistently for the last 20 weeks till really the start of September. As you can see in the previous clips, it's a compilation of days that it's taken me to take down my mini braids. And I got this really lovely question from one of my subscribers. She was basically very excited to have her mini braids in, but the takedown was what she was dreading, like I normally dread when it comes to takedown. So let's give you some tips about taking down mini braids. So the first thing I encourage you to do is to set aside enough time to be able to take down this protective style. It took me 4 days in total, and that's actually spending quite a lot of time of those 4 days actually dedicated to taking down the mini braids. So you will need a lot of patience to take down the mini braids. You're going to be having lots of new growth, and your hair, is going to be pulling and tugging. You want to set aside enough time and have enough patience to be able to take down your mini braids, especially if they are as small as mine are. I do want to say, if this is your first video seeing on my mini braids, welcome firstly. Secondly, do check out the mini braids playlist that will give you detailed information of how to use mini braids to grow your natural hair. So I have been taking down and redoing the front of my mini braids over time, so you're able to keep this in and maintain a look by redoing the edges. The second tip I'm going to give when it comes to taking down mini braids, especially ones that have been installed on your hair for a while, is to make sure that your hair is damp to touch, and also apply oil. Now I normally use warm water, and I normally sometimes heat up my olive oil to add to my hair before the takedown. That gives me added slip, but I find that it also starts to even loosen up my hair, because obviously a lot of my hair, the growth has been sleeping for a while, for 20 weeks, and so the oil really helps to wake up all of that new growth and allows me to take down my hair a lot quicker. It will take a long time, as I've said, so I put my favorite program on or listen to something while I take these down. It's going to take several days. There's many techniques of using to take down your mini braids. I use both the comb and my hands. When I'm getting a little bit impatient, I find that I reach for the comb. I would advise that you mainly use your hand. So the technique that I'm showing you there, I use the comb and I go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I just use my hand and pull it apart. So I'm not combing through my hair at all. The comb is just there as an assistant. And can you see the length on my hair? And ladies, mini braids can really grow your natural hair long, healthy and strong. You're seeing progress right here on my channel. You're seeing my hair grow. Follow along and see if it can work for you. Long hair. My hair has never been long before. I'm always saying that on this channel, so I'm very excited that all the hard work is paying off. Keeping my mini braids, keeping this one style in for 20 weeks, 4 months has not been easy, but the growth that I've got on my natural hair is unbelievable. So once again, the technique that I use is my hands, and for this braid, I decided to just use my fingers and pick apart the braid. You can see what I'm doing there with my fingers, and then this is called the reverse plaited method, where I try to undo the braid in the same way that I braided it. And I like that technique. As you can see, I just reverse braid and it just gets undone by itself. That's a really fantastic tip for not using comb. If you braid your hair quite neatly, that's another tip, then you'll be able to do the reverse braiding in order to take it down. And as you can see, it's coming apart. So that's the second technique of how I take down my mini braids. Now, as I come towards the root, sometimes I'm getting braids that I've been in. I have re-braided quite a lot of these, but there's a lot of build-up on some of these braids. As you can see, product build-up, dandruff, and all sorts is going on by week 20 of these mini braids. I see that it's sort of like fused together. So really, I use my hand on that part and not the comb. And I also make sure that I do try to keep my hair moisturized even while I braid up to the root. I'll probably respray the root. Probably the hardest part of taking down your mini braids is actually to start to take down the mini braids. As you can see me looking down, I'm looking towards the end of my hair to see where to actually put my first placement of the comb. I usually start with the comb because by the time I've braided down all the way off that hair, it's very hard for me to use my finger and put it apart because it's so small, especially because my mini braids are real mini braids. So I use the comb then to try to get up to as much as I can to be able to use my hand. Sometimes if it's flowing, I just use the comb all the way to the end, and as you can see, my eyes remain on the braid. I'm always looking at what I'm doing. I'm feeling for anything that's pulling, I'm feeling for anything that's breaking, and I'm able to adjust it. That's why I sort of advocate for you using your hand over just the comb. You're able to feel any resistance and be able to adjust your technique accordingly. I want to say thank you so much for watching so far in the video. Do go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like if you are liking the tips in this video. Thank you so much. So mini braids have been great to grow my natural hair long, and I advocate for using mini braids to grow your natural hair. I've been doing some 6-month comparison videos. Do check those out where you can see side by side all the growth that I've received, and there will be lots of videos in the following after the weeks after taking this down. So lots of exciting content showing you what my hair actually looks like. It's beautiful, guys, and that's why I say to you, do try this long-term protective style method. It really gives you good results. So back to what my subscriber said. Yes, it is quite daunting to take down mini braids, especially if they are as small as mine. However, you are empowered. Do come back and watch the different techniques that I'm sharing to be able to take this down. Start with the comb. Look, always be paying attention. Always be looking at the ends of your hair while you're taking it down. Apply oil, moisturizer, and you can try the reverse braiding technique if you don't want to use the comb. You can use the comb as an assistant, but the main thing you're going to need when you're taking down your mini braids is a bucket load of patience. I've always said hair growth is about length retention. One of the ways we're going to retain length on our hair is by treating our hair naturally. I've been infusing these mini braids with all sorts, which is why it looks like I've got added build-up, Ayurveda, henna. All of those have been infused, and I actually recommend you do. I did do a henna tea rinse before I took this down, so I recommend you do a strengthening treatment before you take down your mini braids. If you're high porosity like myself, I recommend that be a protein treatment in order to be able to take your mini braids down. My mini braids felt really moisturized. They felt, my hair texture felt beautiful because for the last 20 weeks I've made sure on my regimen to be able to infuse Ayurveda into my hair regimen. Do once again go ahead and check out all my playlists. I've got DIY playlists, I've got my natural hair journey playlist, I've got my mini braids playlist, I've got my mini twist playlist. I've got lots of styling videos on my channel, so do go ahead and check those out. So once again, this particular set of mini braids took me 4 days to take down. A lot of that was away from the camera. Couldn't film it all. I wouldn't be able to store all of that footage. It took a long time. It also took a lot of concentrated time. As you can see, sometimes I come across knots and tangles, and that braid that's tangling will take a lot longer to take down. So you're gonna need a lot of patience. You're gonna need to set aside enough time to take them out, especially as your hair grows longer than mine. My hair is, as the longer it goes, the longer it's going to take to come down. I do hope you've enjoyed the tips and the techniques that I've shared in this video. Here is my hair. As you can see here, there's actually quite a lot of mini braids still left in there, but this is where I'll leave it for this video, and I will see you in my next one. Thank you so much for watching.